What's up, Vincent?
Going on?
What is going on, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another episode of the Turnpike Titans podcast. I am rejoined by my two co-hosts, Jarrett and Vin, after a short bye week that they had. And we're back to discuss another really just absolute heartbreaking loss by the Tennessee Titans in Kansas City, primetime game. Against all odds, this team just showed every bit of heart and sweat and all the work they put in, and they left everything on the field. But unfortunately, due to the fact that we have nobody at all that can catch a football or get open, or realistically, I'll even say can really throw someone open, except for a few instances. We couldn't get it done. So let's dive into it. As always, I'm going to give you two the floor, opening reactions of this heartbreaking 20-17 loss in Kansas City. Vince, start us off.
Well, first I want to say you got off a little easy last week, because I had a team still left playing in the World Series, and Jared had the monkeypox or whatever. So we let Sal go at it solo dolo when there wasn't many nice things to say about the future best quarterback in the world, Malik Willis. But I'll actually give him some credit this week. I mean, I think the loss was far from being on Malik Willis. It was a tough loss. And you think, a lot of people thought maybe this was going to be like the Buffalo game. We've learned from being Titans fans, we're always in games nobody thinks we're supposed to be in, and vice versa. So I thought we would play hard. I thought there was a chance we could get blown out, but I mean, we're just so well coached, in my opinion, that we're always going to be in games. So I was surprised though. We were controlling the whole game. Henry's obviously just the best running back. I think I was talking to one of my good friends a few weeks ago, and I said the best three running backs of the 2000s generation is Danny Tomlinson, Adrian Peterson, and now you have to say Derrick Henry, because I think he is cut from that cloth. But either way, he's amazing. Our defense is top notch. I've been saying it since week one, a top 5 defense. But yeah, it was heartbreaking. I never like to be the guy who likes to blame refs, but there was a lot of piss poor calls at the end. But still, it's the same issues. I hate to sound redundant, but it's the lack of efficiency in the second half. I mean, we have fucking like 10 yards we gained in the second half, or just something like stupid. 7 yards in the second half.
On the last 10 drives, not to cut you off, but the last 10 drives we had, it was four negative net yards and a total of 7 yards in the second half.
Yeah, I mean,
on 27 plays.
It's inexcusable. I mean, we just have, it's sad how we have no one at receiver. I mean, you hate to put a lot on Burks, but when he comes back, he better be something like worthwhile, because it is just Cody Hollister and Nick Westbrook-Ikhine. Cody Hollister should not be on an NFL roster. Westbrook-Ikhine, I like, a good special teamer, a good locker room guy. Everyone seems to like him. With all due respect to him, he is no more than a number 3 receiver on a subpar team. He is not a leading receiver on our team, a first place team in our division. So it's abysmal, and you can't expect us to win these kind of games when you're so one-dimensional, because our defense is amazing, but I mean, come playoff time, you're gonna have to score fucking points, and this right now isn't cutting it. So before I keep repeating myself in a million different ways, I'll let you dive into what you thought. I know you're going to be a lot harder on Malik, but I thought he made some good throws that were definitely catchable, especially the Westbrook-Ikhine one that effectively could have ended the game had he caught it. But, I mean, he was a little indecisive at times, held onto the ball a lot. But from last week to this week, I thought there was a glimmer of hope. So have the floor there, Mr. Jarrett.
Well, listen, it's the same song. It's the same song and dance every week with the offense. So, I mean, we could talk until we're blue in the face. It's the same shit. In the second half, it goes stale. First half, not even the first half. The whole second quarter, I think, was they catered to Willis. Pretty decent. I'm a Willis hater. I'm not too thrilled with him right now, but he had a really good second half. Put some drives together. He made an elite throw to Hooper, back shoulder, right to the goal line. And they ran the RPOs. But in the second half, like where was all that shit? They just went away from everything. It's like a totally different ball game, with the play calling and the adapting in the game. To go along with that, we're talking about receivers and everything. Not one wide receiver. I don't know if the both of you know this, but obviously you do. But not one receiver had a target or a catch in that game. So that's abysmal. And our leading receiver had 48 yards and goes by a tight end. That's one catch. I mean, we have no options. And with Burks coming back, yeah, he may be an option, even stretching the field. But hopefully it opens up for Robert Woods and all these other guys. But there's no clear threat besides Henry. Henry's one of a kind, and it seems when the offense rolls, it rolls with him. And there's so much to speak about of the defense. It's just unbelievable. You had a feeling going all the way into the third quarter, late into the early fourth quarter, that we were going to win this game. And then, he had that phantom 3rd and 17 run, and there was another 3rd and 12 run that Mahomes came. And, David Long had a really good game, and you guys may think I'm crazy for saying it, but, he kind of cost us those two big plays by not breaking down on Mahomes and just diving at him right there. So he's not a really good open field tackler, in my opinion, but he really had a good game. So we'll see what happens with that.
I think our defense was gassed at that point in the game.
Yeah, but
100 fucking plays. I mean,
break down a little bit. He had them.
Listen, an awful offense wins this game. An awful offense wins this game.
Yeah.
This is worse than an awful offense. And I'm telling you right now, no one's going to tell me that really there would have been much of a difference if Ryan Tannehill was playing.
No, absolutely not.
I mean, because Ryan Tannehill playing, number one, there's 0 quarterback running plays, obviously. Ryan Tannehill can't get anyone open. He can only throw the ball. And I don't foresee that happening. This offense is an absolute disaster. And just to clarify what you said, Jared, because I know what you meant, there were wide receiver targets. There was just no receptions.
Oh no, yeah, catches
from any wide receivers, which is I don't even know if that's. I'd love to know how many times that's happened in an NFL game. I'd say probably you can count on one hand. And maybe before 1950, but no time after 1950, I would assume that's happened often. So I've went on many tangents since the end of this game, so I'm not going to repeat myself. I'll just do it in a brief manner. Officiating was a joke. Okay. NFL officiating is blatantly calling games one-sided. And I hate being the guy, but it's just too wide open not to say now. I mean, nobody in my fucking life is going to tell me that if the roles are reversed and Austin Hooper has that 2-point conversion and his fucking helmet comes off and those exact motions by him and the corner happen, that we're getting that call. There's no way on earth. So just that alone shows you that NFL officiating is lopsided and it's criminal and it needs to stop. Because this league is taking advantage of the fact that no matter how poorly and how criminal their officiating is, people still keep watching. And someone needs to be held accountable. I don't know how that's going to happen, but it needs to happen yesterday because it's taking the integrity out of the game and it's making it hard to fucking watch. Absolutely. And I'm telling you, as big of a fan as I am, if this continues to happen, it's going to be difficult for me to watch these games. Because it was blatantly obvious that fucking bullshit holding call on that Derrick Henry 30-yard run on Brewer was a fucking joke. So that shit happens on every play. Yeah. You can call that on every play, and it wasn't even near the play. It's a joke. Going off of what you said, yeah, Willis he did enough. And the bottom line is this: he's getting better each week. There's no debating that. He has gotten better from Houston until Denver. I'm not going to say how big those strides have been because they haven't been very big, but they are strides. And I do feel like he is the kind of kid with a head on his shoulders that's strong enough that we could throw him back or throw him back in the fire against Denver, and he might progress even further. The bottom line is, again, how can you expect a 22-year-old kid coming in the league to succeed with not even NFL caliber players? Forget how good or bad they are. They're not NFL caliber players around him. It's virtually impossible. And the fact that the kid said after the game himself, I can't do this anymore because nobody's fucking open. That should be as telling as it can be. So this is a joke. Again, I am so over John Robinson because he blatantly put us in this position and he had multiple opportunities to get us out. And he said, fucking, I don't care. And that's why we're in this situation. That's why our rookie quarterback doesn't have a fucking ounce of protection. That's why he doesn't have a single person outside of Robert Woods, who's criminally overrated, by the way. He is over fucking rated. I don't know what he did with the Rams. I didn't watch him enough with the Rams. Whatever stats he had with the Rams were a gift because he ain't nearly as good as what we thought we were getting. Not even close. Okay. So again, like we said earlier, hopefully Treylon Burks is Jesus Christ or AJ Brown II. Otherwise, I mean, we're going to keep doing this pod, praying for, but we know nothing. We're not going nowhere. I mean, really, we're not going anywhere. And it's an absolute shame with this defense. Generational. This defense is generational. You got an excellent corner in Fulton. You got an on-the-rise McCreary who's criminally underrated. You've got arguably the best defensive front in football, maybe outside of the Jets, they really have a pass rush as well. And it's all for nothing. It's for nothing. Like I said, an awful offense wins this game. We had worse than an awful offense. So let's get into this. Our favorite segment to do. I know Jared's drooling at the mouth to give this grade. So we'll let him start. Quarterback grade for number 7 for this past game. I hope it's nothing lower than a D+, because that would be really unfair. But go ahead.
I was going D+ and hovering at a C just because alone on the second quarter. That's all I'm giving him, because the first quarter was not good, and the whole second half on 27 plays for a net of 7 yards. I don't care. You have to make something happen. Whether that shithead on the booth calling plays is fucking up, take it in your hands yourself and run the fucking ball yourself. So I mean, he had a really good second quarter. What I'm going on, there was some great throws to Hooper and the RPOs. Just they got to give him a chance if they really want him next year. And Tannehill's hurt until Green Bay or Cincinnati. They have to stick to that same game plan that they had in the second quarter with the RPOs and everything. Get him more involved with the running game. It's two-dimensional now. You got to worry about Henry and you got to worry about him with the legs. So, I mean, it wasn't all that great, but I mean, what the hell can we grade him? He was, what was he, 8 for 18 or 5 of 16 or whatever for 80 yards? I mean, still, that's not a great stat line, but, he did what he had to do. And we had the game won, but we had to fucking eat the clock. I mean, negative four possessions in the second half. We're all negative drives. Yeah. And our defense on the field, 90 plays. So, I mean, if we're on the field and extend those drives, who knows? The Chiefs may never have the ball, in that position. So,
yeah, I'll give him a C. I'll give him a C. And like Jared said, there's not much to base it off of because he threw the ball, less than 10 times. What makes me feel a little better is he looked more comfortable.
Yeah.
The last week he looked he looked more uptight last week. The interception was bad. Just an awful throw decision. He just looked like a boxer who was just like too tight. You know what I mean? He needed to loosen up and relax. And we did the things this week that will make a quarterback like him loosen up, which is play to his strengths, the RPO, roll him out. You know what I mean? Just get him comfortable with what he's good at. And there was a slight, progression in, I think, everything with him. He looked more comfortable. He made the throw to Chris Conley was a fucking dime.
That's the one
which I feel like all three of us could have caught should we have had the speed to make it down that far the field.
I do.
But the throw to Akina, I mean, yeah, it's a difficult catch, but I mean, you're putting the ball where your receiver can get it and the quarterback can't get it. So by NFL standards, that's the throw you need to make there. And Keenan needs to make that catch, but like I said, he's no more than a number 3 on a mediocre team, let alone a number 1 or a 2 on a division leading team. So yeah, I liked his progression. I'll give him a C. I would like to see him not hold on to the ball as long when things break down a little. And like he said, no one's open, throw it the fuck away.
Yeah.
I'd rather it be 3rd and 10 than 3rd and 18, or 2nd and 10 than 2nd and 17, where we don't have much, creativity with our play calling in general, let alone when you put yourself in those situations. So I think he's going to play this week. And I kind of like it because, one, we're going to need Tannehill healthy for the stretch late in the season, and we're seeing a little bit what we can get out of this kid. Give us enough belief that at least next year going into the season, should we let go of Tannehill, that we think you're capable. So I'm not too mad at the situation right now. I want to see him improve. We get Burks back this week. So we'll see what's what. So, Sal's going to give him an A++, a gold star, pat in the back, and a cookie. But, that's how, I feel about 7 so far.
Yeah, I'm going to give him a C, flat C.
Okay.
I really should give him a C+, honestly, because he did enough to win the game. Okay, that Conley throw that would have equated to points. The NWI throw should have ended the game and equated to them winning. So I'm not gonna get. I really, I'm giving him a C+. I'm not giving him a C. I am, and it's not his fault that our fucking piece of shit scumbag offensive coordinator didn't realize, hey, guess what? Second half, we can't get a fucking first down. So why don't we just let the kid roll out and run when he's getting 7 yards a clip all day in the first fucking half in overtime? Let him run every play. Lamar did it on Monday night. He ran all fucking night. Let the kid run. That's the only thing you have. You have fucking morons with fucking gloves on in front of him. Let him run. You had the ball at midfield, up 8. You needed a fucking first down to win the game, and you lose yards. You throw the ball behind the line of scrimmage. How can you do that? How does this guy have his job? Why do I got to hear people tell me you got to wait till the year's over? Why? It makes no sense. He is losing this team games. He's a fucking moron. I'd rather have a fucking chimp out there with a headset on. I really would. I'd have him point at a piece of paper that says run or pass. And then let the players do whatever they're going to let him run a free route. Because this guy is an asshole. I swear to God, I wish I had a fucking voodoo doll with his face on it. And I might go buy one. Because that's how much he's pissing me off.
He's really cost us at least 2 years.
He's depriving me, us, my old man, everything we've been waiting our whole fucking lives for. Because somehow, some way, with a deplorable offense, this defense is so fucking good. You got to be average to be a top 5, top 3 team in the conference. And this guy can't even make us below average. He's so fucking bad. So,
team can't score more than 3 touchdowns in a fucking game.
Anyway.
You scared my fish a little bit, Sal.
I'm sorry, man.
Sorry, little Henry.
I had that in the chamber for 2
I
fucking
felt that.
days.
Yeah, I felt it all the way down fucking the Turnpike, bro.
I mean, really, bro. In overtime. You're on the fucking 10-yard line because Hassan Haskins, that dipshit who looked like he couldn't run, it was running in quicksand, kept running the fucking ball out of the end zone and getting tackled at the fucking 10 to 15 because we're all the way back in our own end. Have him run. Have Malik run. Every time he rolled out left, every time he rolled out right, even though I did that backwards, I meant right or left because that's how fucked up I am. It was getting 5-6 yards minimum. Obviously, having him drop back in the pocket, you're not doing anything. So I can't sit. You guys know this. I've been on this piece of shit's ass for 1.5 years now.
I've been since the day we hired him. I said he's going to kill AJ, Julio, and fucking Derek's career.
Well, you also said last year, let him get his guys back. You were giving him some slack.
No, I was saying with Tannehill. I'm not saying
I said with Tannehill, without him, with Jesus, I said from the jump, this guy is a ass clown. And I fought with people on Twitter day and night. You're a moron. He's got nobody. And then he got everybody. And he couldn't do shit. And now he still can't do shit.
He ruined He ruined fucking Derek Carr, man, when he was with the Raiders that one year. He absolutely ruined. They went from fucking top offense in the league.
It's the last thing I'll say, then we'll move on. Think about this. We were the number 1 team in the AFC. We are the best team in the AFC South. And we have the worst play caller in offensive fucking history. Just imagine anyone else in this league with a headset on, with at least 10 brain cells, calling plays for this football team. Do we have a championship last year? Are we possibly in the running for one this year? Yes. That's how good this defense was last year. It's even better this year. You got Derrick Henry. I mean, you just got to play situational football. The Jets are doing the same thing. They're 6-3 because they have arguably the best defense in the AFC. They don't, I mean, they're throwing a little bit, but they're running and they're throwing when they need to. They're getting 150, 160 yards passing a game, and they're shutting people down. And that's what we can do. They got LaFleur's brother over there, who they used to talk a bunch of shit about, and now he's fucking the second coming of God because he's doing what he needs to do with what he has. Now, mind you, they got a much better offense than us, the Jets. There's no arguing that. There's zero arguing that. All across the board. The only edge we have is running back in all phases. But again, this fucking guy is killing us. So I have enough blood pumping through my neck now. I'm going to let it trickle back down into my chest. And we're going to get into this game against Denver. Must win at home game. I don't care who's out there. I don't care who's playing quarterback. It could be Billy Volek, for all I give a shit, at 51
throwback there, Billy
old. They got to win this game because Denver is a shit show. So, what do you think? What's our game plan? And I can't even say it without laughing. To take care of business this coming week at home against Denver, Jarrett.
Same thing. Stick with the run game. Get him more involved with the fucking RPOs. With Malik, if he even goes, which I hope he kind of does, just to get Tannehill, healthy for down the stretch, like Vince said. But situational football, like you said, like whatever we did in the second quarter with him, just ride that the whole game. And defense, I think we're gonna get after Russ. Russ looks like shit. He's been looking like shit. Fulton is very familiar with Jerry Jeudy from college, so I think he locks him up pretty good. And I think our defense is going to shut them down like they have, for the whole year so far. So I'll keep my score prediction for when we do that. So Vin, what do you got?
I think obviously on offense you want to see more progression with Malik. You want to see similar to what they did last week with the RPO. Hopefully Burks is back. We look. It's hard to even say more competent. Because we weren't competent at all. Let's just look somewhat like an NFL team when we're throwing the ball. On defense, you hope Big Jeff plays. If not, that's a big problem. He's, one of the best disruptors in all the game, if not the best.
And Dupree too.
Yeah. What's that?
And Dupree, because he's up in the air now too.
Yeah, well, that's no fucking surprise there. But, I think like Sal said, it's a must win because guess what? Now we got Jacksonville's 3-5. So if they win and we lose, then it's we win a game up on them. So,
a short week.
Yeah, it's not over, by any, Doug Peterson's definitely a good head coach. And actually, I hope they don't scoop up Frank Reich because if we fire this idiot, I'd like him running this offense, ran a championship offense in Philly. Yeah. But I think Dougie P scoops him up. But that's besides the point. But, I think we win an ugly game. It's going to be an ugly game either way. We don't win easy ever. So it's, our predictions, I'll tell you, it's probably going to be like a 17-14 kind of game, if that.
Oof, you almost got my prediction.
By the way,
oof.
If you guys don't recall, or if you guys do recall, I predicted 21-20 in this Chiefs game. It was damn near close. But yeah, I mean, it's comical saying this out loud over and over again because they don't do it. But it's got to be a run-heavy mixture of Henry and Willis. When defenses don't know who's going to be running the ball, I mean, that's when you're at your best. And you could see in the first half of last week's game, they were incredibly confused because they were doing RPOs, play action, roll out. You wind up running, and they don't, when you don't know who to key on, that's when you're going to get the yardage. That's when you get the 6-7 yards of play, which you need to get in the end zone. So yeah, of course it's going to be an ugly game. I got all the confidence in the world that this defense is going to do enough to keep us in the game, no matter how abysmal our offense is going to be. But yeah, Traylon Burks, I mean, he cannot miss another fucking game. He cannot miss another fucking game. I mean, he is our only shot of competence and our only shot of making any run in the playoffs. He really is. I don't want to hear about Kyle Phillips. I mean, the more I hear about it, it's like his shoulders fucking doesn't even exist anymore, and it doesn't look like he's even remotely close to coming back. So I'm not even going to think about him yet. I throw up in my mouth anytime somebody brings up Racing McMath as someone that's supposed to be part of the relief for this fucking offense.
Maybe we start throwing fucking shake the ball a little more. I mean, he looked pretty athletic on that little screen play.
Oh yeah, man, that was a play.
I thought he was going to score for a hot second. I was excited.
Yeah, unfortunately, he only runs like a 4.6.
Oh, dude, I think he was the fastest tight end at the combine.
Yeah, he was.
He didn't look it.
No, yeah. I mean, obviously not.
He had linebackers chasing him down. So
maybe run that play a few fucking times a game. I mean, you drafted the kid. He looked pretty decent on that play.
Everyone does it. Mahomes did all night. Hike, boom. Hike, boom. You got a fucking rookie. You need to set him up to succeed.
But that's any problem. We can't. He is an incompetent play caller.
No. That's what I'm saying.
He cannot scheme to these fucking players like Arthur Smith did. He's not playing to his strength. They know if they're gonna pressure like we were. That's why he was dinking and dunking. Quick fucking throws.
It's. I mean, I don't know the right word to use to describe it now. Embarrassing doesn't cut it. It doesn't. It's beyond words. That this is a national football team that is allowing such incompetence to be hired by them. And I'm sick of talking about it, but it's never going to stop because he's never going to stop being terrible. And the fact that, he's probably going to be gone next year. And what the fuck is that supposed to do for us? Because he should already be gone. But apparently there's some unwritten rule. You can't get rid of a coordinator when your team's above 500 and in the lead of division. So apparently that's not possible. But I digress. Let's get into the score predictions. I'll start it off. I'm going 21-14.
Wow.
21-14.
Wow.
Yes.
21.
Yes, 21. I know that's like scoring 70 with
Wow.
this football team.
We haven't scored 3 touchdowns, I
pathetic.
don't think, since week 13 last year.
Yeah, I think Derrick Henry is going to. Yeah, I think Derrick Henry is going to have just a little smidge more of an edge than he did last night because you could tell he was so pissed. You could just tell. I mean, he gave every defensive player a handshake, and he knows he has to know at this point that their success is going to only be based on how he performs. So I think he'll do enough to get us in the red zone 3 times. And I think we'll score. I mean, we might get in the red zone 4 times. We'll score 3 of the 4 times. And again, our defense, even without Jeff, I think we're going to be able to get home and hold them to 2 touchdowns. 21-14 is my score prediction. Vin?
Yeah, I said 17-14. I think it's going to be close, ugly game. Obviously we never win easy. But, I don't ever want to overlook any team, let alone, a guy like Russell Wilson who has some weapons around him with Sutton and Judy and, Melvin Gordon's not the same. But, they got some talent on that team. And we are by no means it's just no, guarantee that we win this game. So I think it's going to be ugly, but I think we come up with a win, 17-14. Maybe I'm going to call for a defensive touchdown this week.
That would be nice. Jared?
Nice. So Vin, you almost clocked me with the same prediction, but I'm going 17-16 though, in favor of us. And I think it's gonna be an ugly win, again. And Denver's defense is pretty tough too. So
they just lost Chubb, so
Yeah,
a little easier.
Russell do what he's got to do to get in the red zone. They're going to kick some field goals, but I think it's bend don't break by us, and I think we contain them as much as we can.
Yeah, no, that's very valid number. I think mine's good too. All three numbers are good. I mean, I think a lot of this comes down to what impact Burks has. I mean, that's really what it comes down to. If he has any sort of chemistry with Willis and they can maintain that throughout an hour-long game, hell, maybe we can score four touchdowns. You don't know.
Wow.
It's I mean, yeah, I'd say it's a long shot, and it sucks that we have to feel this way when you have a guy like Derrick Henry on your football team, but with such incompetence in the coaching staff, it's just tough. But again, Burks is the guy. I said this on Twitter. I hope he understands the pressure that is on him now.
He has to be a
Because
guy. It's
Yeah,
almost
no,
it has to now.
yeah.
if he is not a first round talent, then
Yep. We're fucked.
we're fucked. And it could be the end for John Robinson if he's not, because that was all him, man. The reason AJ Brown is one of the best receivers in football in Philadelphia is because of him. And if this kid Burks doesn't succeed and this team's a first round exit again, then I mean, at a certain point, I think Amy Adams is going to be like, all right, I'm going to have to really stop being such a friendly owner and make some decisions that are going to rub some people the wrong way. Because, I said this earlier, he's done a lot of good, but he's done a lot of bad. And you can say that about other GMs, and that's all fine and good, but it ain't going to win you a fucking Super Bowl when you do a ton of terrible shit and a ton of great shit, because that just breaks even. When you're at the casino, breaking even doesn't make you happy. Same way if you're a fucking general manager of a pro football team. It's not going to make your fans happy breaking even. And so far, he's broke even, and you can even argue he's done more bad than good. And you can, that I think is,
yeah.
that's a much stronger argument than more good than bad.
As of this year, I'm gonna have to agree with you on that.
So we'll see how it all turns out. Hopefully, this will be Malik Willis's first home start. I hope this fan base shows him the love he's going to need and the support that he's going to need. I hope that place is rocking, because whatever the case may be, we're still 5-3. We're still the number one seed or the number one team in the AFC South. And, we need a real home field advantage. It's enough's enough now. And it's starting to trend in that direction, but we need to start showing out at the stadium and making this team, give back a little bit of what this team gives us, at least on the defensive side. So we got a nice little 35-minute, 40-minute show in. We'll cut out, and hopefully we got some good news going into next week. So you fellas got anything else to add before we let it rip?
Let's get this home W and get 6-3.
Yeah. 8-9-2, but to do it.
All right,
That's
folks. As always, tighten up
I know.
Assalamu alaikum.
and let's ride.